How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This your boy TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what is up, nerds? Let's bring the music down. Let's actually pause this music and turn on the other music that I want to go in. Nothing, still shout out to Dieter Music, okay? Still shout out to Dieter Music, but I've been listening to Perplexity Radio a lot recently, so we're gonna play some Perplexity Radio for us. How is everyone doing? I see a couple of you in the chat already. Boy, is it freaking dark in here. Let me also fix my hair, get it out of my way a little bit. Did I stream at 4 p.m. today? No, I did not. I was so close to actually going live at 4 p.m. How can I get more light in here? Maybe I need to open a white page or something on one of these screens. Every single screen I have right now is just completely dark mode, and there's not actually much light coming on my face over here. Whoa. Don't want anything coming on my face ever, but yeah, not much light in this room at the moment, so I apologize for the darkness. But anyways, coming back to the stream, man, another goated day on the market, especially in the small cap world. I mean, if you're watching the small caps moves at the moment, they are very, very volatile, giving you big ranges and lots of clean moves, I want to say, really. People would disagree with that if you're a short seller, but if you are, versatile, if you know how to go long and short and really be patient and disciplined, small caps are so active at the moment. On top of that, you have some large cap moves. We talked about Apple, Google, move last night. Today, going into the close at 350 or so, they came out with another catalyst that Google is going to be powering Apple. So as I said couple weeks ago, what is it, Apple phone powered by Google? That joke is actually end up being very much true. That is giving you trade opportunities. You have a couple other stocks like Affirm, MicroStrategy, which is still being weak even though Bitcoin had a little bit of a bounce today. Rocket Lab got sold off right back to the downside. So still a lot of stocks to talk about. And you know, we have earnings names. Can't forget about that. American Eagle. Big move on American Eagle today. Shout out to Sydney Sweeney, right? Nothing. We were expecting a move yesterday, and I actually own some shares of American Eagle, so I'm now up like 35% on that account. So that's good. Not on the account, on the holding of American Eagle, so that's pretty good. And with the short squeeze component that American Eagle could have, that one's gonna be a high important name for the day trade and for the swing account. So lots of stuff to talk about. Let's not waste any time. Let's go to the full screen and dive right in. Music's too loud. Thank you, Dieter. Thank you for letting me know. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Okay, so as you guys know, I'm still in the process of getting my day trade account set up. If you go to my profile, you'll see my brokerage is actually the same brokerage who I used to trade with. So waiting for that process to go through. I did get my emails, so things are going ahead as intended. So now I just need to do a couple more steps here and there, and I'll be ready to go on the day trade side. But for the swing trade side, that's my own personal account. So for that one, you know, we have been, ooh, thank you, Dieter. For my personal account, you know, we have been managing a little bit. We bought some BABA, I think yesterday after hours, or pretty much today pre-market. I bought some BABA, and you know, we're watching Baidu, we're watching American Eagle, and all those stocks. So not really a lot to talk about, to be honest, on my personal trades, because I'm not really trading as actively. But always happy to give you guys a nice little walkthrough for stocks that I might be watching tomorrow, and those will obviously start with the earnings names tonight after hours. As Barkit was asking if I streamed today at 4 p.m., I was this close to streaming at 4 p.m., but you know, I was so unprepared. All of a sudden 340 came around, and I was like, oh snap, I don't have a thumbnail, I don't have you know, anything prepared, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. So I was caught a little off guard. I probably should have been a lot more ready for it. I had all day to prepare, I just didn't prepare properly. So that was obviously you know, a little bit of a mistake on my part. But hopefully starting next week, you know, let's just keep it from next week, because tomorrow is the final stream of the week anyways. From next week we'll start streaming at 4:30 or so. I'll keep you guys up to date on Twitter, so make sure that you check my posts on Twitter to stay up to date. Your loyal audience don't need any notice, just jump on and we will be glad to join, says Barkhead. I appreciate that, my friend. Appreciate that a lot. Much love. Much love. Okay, so stocks to talk about today: CRM, CRDO, AI, American Eagle, GitLab, HPE, PagerDuty, Asana, Figma, ChargePoint. Basically, all of the names on the board over here are going directly on the watch list. Along with that, I have some other names across the board. Some names that you know, had some news later on in the day, like Google, Apple. PayPal had an interesting news catalyst, but didn't really make a move, but something to keep an eye on anyways. So why don't we start with PayPal real quick, because this is, I don't have to talk a lot about this, just a quick little point that maybe brings this stock into play, and that is PYPL. There we go. And that is today they announced a partnership with Perplexity. Perplexity is one of the best AI tools out there that I've been using for quite some time now, especially if you use Perplexity Comet browser. This little setup over here looks interesting, if you ask me, because if that news that they're teaming up with Perplexity actually takes it above the resistance zone, this is a daily chart breakout. I was in an SMB Capital meeting today. We sit into their meetings every single day, we being my Discord group. We sit into their meetings every day and we listen to it. You know, today they were talking about how their best technical analysis trades are daily chart breakouts or breakdowns. So this would qualify for that. However, it does have a bunch of levels right above it. For example, the 50-day moving average, the 200-day moving average. So those could act as major resistance areas. And then above that, you have this $80 wall that stock has clearly struggled for since the start of the year. So if we do get above here, I think we got a clean $5 move to capitalize on. And the partnership is basically, if you use PayPal to pay for at least 3 subscriptions or something like that, or if you use Venmo, you will be eligible to get Perplexity Pro, which is basically $20 a month. You will be eligible to get that for a whole year for free. I currently pay 20 bucks a month, and I would love to get Perplexity Pro for free. So that's an interesting deal over there, mainly for the US customers. I think it's not out for Canada yet, but once it's out for Canada, trust me, I'll be trying to get a free access to Perplexity Pro. I'll be okay with using a different account for now, and then after a year I'll just go back to my own account, right? Getting a free account for 20 bucks a month, that's free money right there, ladies and gentlemen. And I think PayPal might just see a good surge in subscriber count. I'm just guessing here, right? We don't know how popular this deal will be, but if that deal is a good deal, then you will see a subscriber count surge, total revenue inflow of through PayPal, the money going in and out through PayPal. You'll see that surging too. All of that will basically be good for the earnings reports, and that means that will be good for the stock also. So for me, looking for a long above 71 is the trade idea. 71 is the inflection level. I'm just kind of rounding it up above 70, 73, but that is basically your breakout price point. So once we break above 70, 75 and do manage to get into 71, the question is the stock holding above 71, or is it finding selling around 71? If it does manage to break through 71 and pull back and find support above 71 or around 71, that's showing you that buyers are stepping up. These are all good things that you want to see for a possible explosive move to the north side. And maybe explosive is the wrong word, but at least a move to $75 to the 200-day moving average, from where we would have to reassess the stock completely. So let's see if the Perplexity Pro deal is going to allow PayPal to get a little bit of a boost to the north side. Google, after reporting their deal, or not deal, the judge ruling yesterday, going in their favor, taking off to a new all-time high. My dad actually said he owns some shares of Google, so at least someone in the house does. If I don't, at least someone in the house does. So shout out to Pops over there. Yeah, monster move on Google, up 9% on the day. I think tomorrow will be an inside day. It's hard to imagine Google's gonna have another big day like today. But I hope I'm wrong. Honestly, I hope I'm wrong. So just so my dad could make more money and anyone else who's long also makes money at the same time. Monster move over here. I think Apple has been due for quite some time, and I was telling my pops to also buy Apple around 235, and I hope he did. I hope my shares got filled. I should have probably watched Apple for the pullback long, and it did exactly what I was telling you guys yesterday on stream. Look at that beautiful pullback and holding around at 235, and this giving you a move to 238. This is a swing trade right here. This is the start of a swing trade for Apple. Technically the start was somewhere down here where I started, but this is not a bad spot to add to your trade if you are already in it, or start a trade if you're just starting, and look for the move into all-time high and a bigger move to the north side. Clearly Apple has decided that they are not going to play catch up. They're just going to play partnership. They're going to team up with companies that are already providing awesome AI tools such as Google. Maybe they'll come out and buy Perplexity at one point. Who knows? Nobody knows, right? But that would be a pretty cool gig for not gig, but pretty cool thing to see Apple do if it does end up playing out. I'm not sure Perplexity will let it happen, but you know, it's just something to think about. Overall, they're not going to try and beat other people in the AI world. They're just going to partner with it. I have been seeing a little bit here and there about Apple actually working towards their own AI also, which is, you know, not a bad idea at all. We'll see how Siri with the help of Gemini actually ends up being. Maybe that does end up working out as Jarvis. That'd be pretty cool. So Apple, swing trade, day trade for both the baskets, very much on watch. I think Apple has a better chance to not have an inside day tomorrow than Google. Sadly, markets were, if I remember correctly, weak today at one point. Weren't markets selling off? I do remember this part of the market. They were selling off, but I guess we bounced right back up to the north side, so that's pretty good. I don't remember this part because I stopped watching the market at that point, but I do remember the market going back down. I guess that's a really good thing. The market did end up go back up overall, and if we do get another bounce day tomorrow, look at that nice bounce off the 50-day moving average on the Qs, basically trying to reclaim the 20-day, reclaim the 9-day moving averages. S&P 500 is at a new all-time high, pretty sure, wasn't it? I thought it was, but it did pull back a couple days. Still above the 21 days, still above the 9-day moving average. So still bullish market over here. And then September 17th, we have the Fed rate cut, which is going to be very interesting. Looking forward to see if we do get a rate cut. That's going to obviously propel the market to the upside and take my stocks to the moon, baby. Tempest AI pulled back a little bit. You know what? Let's go back to the watch list and start from the top. So Google, Apple. I think Apple is a little bit more of a higher priority name than Google tomorrow. I will be surprised if Google has a big day, but it doesn't mean that you don't watch Google. You watch both of them. CRM reported earnings today after hours. So let's quickly pull up one of my sponsors over here, Benzinga. You know, Benzinga is going to get jealous that I haven't pulled them up on stream for quite some time. So it's time to pull up our good sponsor, Benzinga. Look at this big ad sponsor that I got going on for them. And pull up CRM and actually do some of the investigative research ourselves instead of telling AI to do it for us. You know what? Why not we do both? Why don't we do both? Because we have the ability to do that. So showcase Perplexity and showcase Benzinga at the same time. ER scan for stream. We want CRM, GitLab, Figma. Come here. Figma, C3 AI, Asana, PagerDuty, ChargePoint, AEO. That's it. I'm gonna leave CRDO out. Actually, why not? Let's just go to CRDO too. In the meantime, we'll pull up CRM over here. Take a look at this. What is it? What did CRM do today? 10.14 billion. They reported 10.24, beating estimates of 10.14. Reported 2.91, beating estimates of 2.78. Total revenue up 10% year over year. All things looking good so far. How are we looking on the future forecast? Salesforce expects third quarter revenue to be in the range of 10.24 to 10.29 versus 10.29. So, low end is lower than the estimate and the high end is the estimate. Company anticipates the third quarter adjusted earnings to be 2.84 to 2.86 versus estimates of 2.85. So basically in line over there. It raised its fiscal year 2026 revenue guidance, however, to the range of 41.1 billion to 41.1 40.1 to 40.13 versus the estimates of 40 point, basically in a range over there. You are basically raising to the estimates, I guess. The company raises full year adjusted earnings guidance to 11.33 to 11.37 versus estimates at 11.31. That's beating the estimates, but barely. I guess overall, this is somewhat of a nothing burger report. They are growing year over year though, so that is good to see a company as big as CRM, Salesforce, to grow. But here's a quick little showcase of how advantageous it is to use tools like Perplexity at your disposal. You know, it took us what, 5 minutes, maybe not 5 minutes, but 1.5 minutes to read one earnings report for you guys. But here's AI doing a bunch of them for you and doing it the way you actually like to see it happen. So here's there you go, quick little guide of the sentiment. The sentiment was 6.5. It's kind of what I felt after reading the report. This is out of this is a rating out of 10, 10 being good, 1 being bad. And then the earnings score, AI is actually giving them a 7. They beat but cautious on the future guidance, which is what I kind of saw from the stock report also. GitLab 7.5 on the social sentiment and an 8 on the earnings sentiment. Figma 5.5 and 4.5. That looks like they got destroyed. Let's take a look at how what happened on Figma later on. C3 AI not looking good. They did predict, well, not predict, the CEO came out not too long ago and said that they were going to have a bad earnings report, and looks like the sentiment and the earnings sentiment is matching that. 7.5 and 8 for Asana. That's looking pretty good. PagerDuty in the nothing burger sector. ChargePoint, big number to the downside. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I've ever seen 2.5 on the low end for either of them. So that's probably the lowest number I've ever seen. So ChargePoint probably got absolutely smoked to the downside. AEO, yeah baby, shout out to Sydney Sweeney. Big move to the upside, 20% pop. CRDO 9.5 on both sides. That is actually monstrous. Quick little key metrics, we already read that one. 120% year over year growth, not bad at all. GitLab net revenue retention 121%, growing customer base, improved margin, all things are looking good. Net dollar retention for Figma 129%, expanded customer engagement despite margin pressure. However, looks like the sentiment was not good, so we'll see how that one played out. You're growing 29% year over year. ChargePoint, not sure what is exactly negative over here, but big negative move over there. And CRDO, hyperscaler and AI demand, growing gross margin 67.6% and a strong earnings report overall. So looks like that is going to be you know, the faster way to read earnings report for those of you interested. Just showing you how to go through them, okay? CRM, even though the report looked good, I guess I should say report looked like nothing burger, and that's not what you want to see in the current market, right? When you are seeing absolute stocks going up to the north side. This one's below the 200-day moving average. This one is also getting sold off on a flat earnings report. The guidance is not strong, so it makes sense that they sold off. Does CRM have a high, what's it called again, the PE ratio? So let's go to FinViz real quick and scan for that. What is AEO's PE ratio? That's insane, dude. PE ratio of 11, and this stock has an 18% short flow. Oh, I can't wait to talk about AEO today. Okay, so this one's PE is 40 with the forward PE of 20. That's not bad at all. You know, for an expensive stock like $200 named stock, the PE for a forward PE of 20 with the PE of 40, the stock makes what, $11 a year. They make money, right? So it's not a bad PE at all, and because of that, I don't think we're gonna see too much of a move to the downside below 230 tomorrow. If we do flush into that 230 area, it might actually be a long. It might actually be a long off of that 230 as a fail breakdown below 230. I'm not saying a long for a swing trade, but for the day trade, is what I'm going to be watching. So I think the lower the stock goes, the better it is for that mean reversion intraday long into VWAP, or maybe it even goes higher than VWAP. If it flushes into pre-market, goes into 230 around pre-market, and then bounces off of 230, that's like one of the most ideal setups that I could think of for a easy long back to VWAP, or even back through VWAP into higher day. So CRM, high focus, the lower it goes tomorrow, because that report wasn't that bad, and the big picture of the stock isn't that bad either. CRDO, I think this one's a recent IPO. I remember trading this IPO. It is apparently in the AI sector, which I did not know about. And to be honest, I haven't traded this name in a very long time. With the earnings report sentiment score that we did see, looks like the market likes it too, and they did pump the stock up to the north side. Very, very good move. It kind of exactly what you want to see on this name. It's a new all-time highs now, so your guess is as good as mine. The one key metric for me would be the earnings anchored VWAP. Wherever the earnings anchored VWAP is tomorrow during market hours, I think it's an important metric. After that, you just have every single even dollar level. Clearly very bullish report overall. Let me try to find what the report is, because I want to see if my own sentiment matches AI sentiment. 43% beat on estimate. Anyways, this is a 1200% increase over same period last year. So look at that. That's a monster growth. Company reported quarterly. This is, what is it? This is a 273% from same period last year. So revenue is also growing big time. Monster beat across the board. How about the future? Sees Q2 sales coming in versus estimates. They're guiding well above the estimates over there for the second quarter. So this is actually probably one of the most high priority names tomorrow. They are profitable. A recent IPO that is profitable, that is growing big time, that's in the AI space. I mean, what more do you want at this point? This could very well be in the contention to have an Nvidia type of a move going forward. Maybe saying something like that is you know, not my job. You know, I'm not an analyst. I can't be throwing out predictions like that. But if this stock is not expensive on the PE scale, I'm guessing it is. It is quite expensive on the PE scale, but you know, with the way it's moving right now, I think ignoring CRDO would be the biggest mistake for tomorrow. Let's keep an eye out for the swing trade, for the day trade. This could even be considered, I don't know if it is considered EP, but they are growing by what, 200% on the paper. So by beating that big numbers on EPS and on revenue year over year, I can't see how this is not the easiest long tomorrow. So watching CRDO for any dip opportunities to get long. I might actually you know, look on the swing account also if I can get long on the dips. So looking for this trade high priority, no doubt. Let me quickly see what the previous all-time high is, although I don't think we come back to that level at all. Oh wow, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty cool. VWAP, earnings VWAP is actually exactly that area, 134. So even more of a reason, if we pull back and find support here, I would love to look for the long over there. So just gonna put in 134 area as a support zone, and then we'll see if we even get a chance to get a dip into 134. C3 AI got destroyed, as it probably should. Honestly, this stock is garbage. No one knew what this company ever does or did, and you know, ever since then, this has been the story. And actually, if you go to Wikipedia and look up C3 AI's history, they don't know what they're doing themselves. So I don't understand how, you know, a company like this gets investors and so on just because they have a ticker named AI. Like, come on. What an absolute scam of a CEO to begin with. However, the CEO did warn investors, I guess, and that's the reason why the stock dropped before the earnings report. And today, after the earnings report, they dropped right back to basically the very same price, which is $14. If 14 holds, maybe there's a long scalp over there, but the real trade begins when 14 doesn't hold, because I think there's a chance that this stock goes to $10 or lower than $10, and things really start looking shaky for this name. So keeping an eye on this one tomorrow. 14 for a quick little scalp long potentially. Key inflection level 14, support 14. That's the only price point that I care to trade around. Either we're going long above 14 or we're going short below 14. Simple. AEO, I mean, that is a textbook breakout pattern. And as S&B Capital guys, I said earlier, they talked about their most money made on technical analysis, intraday trading, or even swing trading are actually daily breakout. So that's a daily breakout with the help of an earnings report, because now the stock is trading at $16-17, up 20% from that area. Would love to see the stock go even more ballistic, parabolic, however you want to call it, with the help of the short float and the short squeeze component that it might have. I don't even want to look at the earnings report and get even more bias to the north side, or have bias to the short side. So I'm just gonna behave to the reaction of the chart. How is it reacting to the earnings VWAP, which is around 1650? How is it reacting to the pre-market high or the after-hour high? Couple setups that come to my mind right off the bat is actually the money trade from S&B Capital. So, you know, I think the stock has more room to the upside tomorrow? Hell yes. I think the stock has more room to the upside tomorrow. But can it pull back and find support? I hope so, because then that means I'll add more to my position. So watching this name, only thing I don't want to see is it pull back and fail to find support. If it's pulling back all the way below 15, I might call quits on this trade and just walk away, or close half my position and try to hold the other half to the moving averages, lock in some profits. So a couple ideas on the swing side, but for the day side, you know, I already told you what I'm thinking about. There's a potential the stock could be a great swing trade back into these $23 area resistance pocket. So very, very excited to see what type of future American Eagle holds for you guys, for myself, and you know, everybody, for the traders in general. Thank you, Sydney Sweeney, is all I can say. AEO, purple priority, ladies and gentlemen. Purple. GitLab, I'm pretty sure this one had a move to the upside. Oh no, GitLab got smoked. The earnings report numbers were not bad, right? You what was it? Not you being growth, some slowdown risk, EPS revenue beat, raised full year guidance. So the report looks good, but looks like maybe conference call or the market just didn't like what the report was in general over here for GitLab, and that did end up pushing the stock back to the downside. So maybe just more stuck in these ranges for GitLab, which makes it boring for the day trade and for the swing trade. So maybe you know, nothing really to do here on GitLab for us tomorrow. Let's see if we're back into 38. No, we're well above 38. Well, maybe not well, but a little bit above 38. I wouldn't be surprised if the stock does go into 38 tomorrow and then bounces. There could be a long if it does that, but in the middle of these ranges, I don't really want to do anything. I don't want to do a whole lot in the middle of those ranges over there. Figma, I'm guessing Figma got destroyed after seeing that sentiment score that we saw earlier. What was it, 5.5 and 4.5? Yeah, so Figma did push to the downside over here, and you know, this is now a lot of buyers, even buyers from accounts like Robinhood, Webull, who got allocated around that $33, $34, $66 price point. They are now thinking maybe I should close this position and walk away. I'm gonna actually have to send a picture to my buddy who I told, please take profits when the stock was at 140 or something, or I think it was at 130. I was like, please take profits, and he took profits, and he was like, okay, thank you for the money. And boy, oh boy, look at the stock now. Right? So I just sent him a quick little screenshot of the chart, and obviously stock pushing even more lower after hours. I think pre-market you'll see the same story playing out. So short any pops tomorrow on Figma will be the story. The IPO was overhyped. You might have to pay for shorts because it is a new IPO, so depending on your broker, that's something that you're gonna have to figure out. C3AI, we already talked about this one. Asana, AS8N, nice little move on Asana over here. How do you look on the daily chart? So it looks like you're getting above the 15, so that is kind of a daily chart breakout, but you have too many levels to worry about above 15. You have the 1550, you have the 17, which also happens to be the 200-day moving average, then you have the 18, then you have the 19. So I feel like you know, the sentiment score, what was it? It's kind of the same as GitLab, but looks like they are growing, and market is showing that they like the earnings report. So I guess as long as we are above $15, there could be a long, but that means you want to be closer to $15. The priority of this name for me is actually very low just with how the chart is setting up, so I'm not even going to bother spending too much time talking about it. The inflection level is 15. If we stay above 15, maybe there's a trade over there for us to take a look into. PagerDuty, did you make a move to the north side today? You sold off. Another $14-15 name. Sold off, and are you below 1370? Nope. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna care about PagerDuty either. How about HPE? A little bit of a flush and then a pop right back to the north side on HPE, actually getting above today's high. Stock is above the 200-day moving average, and trying to go back into this range high and then push back up. Now the report sentiment score was, we did not get HPE's report sentiment score. That means we might have to read the report. Honestly, I'm not too interested to read the report about HPE. The stock's average daily range is below 3%, and I usually don't want to be trading stocks below that average daily percent. So I'm not sure this one's a high focus name, but if we are above 23 and finding buyers above 23 tomorrow, there could be a potential move to the north side to be involved in. So I'm just gonna give this one a little bit more respect. I think GitLab also needs to get the respect of an orange marker. What was the price on GitLab? 36 something? 38. So 38 on watch over here. On HPE, we're watching 23 to 23.30 area. PagerDuty, I'm ignoring. Figma, we are going to watch Figma. I think it's around, what, $58 was the after hour low. I think pre-market levels are going to be more important on Figma. I mean, pre-market levels are going to be more important for all of these stocks, but for now, pre-market, we'll see how Figma sets up over there. ChargePoint, you reported earnings after hours and you sold off too, but this is ChargePoint. I mean, not sure I'm going to be really trading ChargePoint. Did we already talk about CRDO? We did talk about CRDO. Okay, some stocks that reported earnings today or yesterday after hours, I think. Dollar Tree did not go up as I thought it would, so that actually pushed Dollar General also to the downside a little bit. Dollar Tree flushing and then popping off that flush. I don't think I'm gonna do anything with this name. Macy's actually managed to push to the north side, and this is very, very similar to a stock that we saw today in the after hours, American Eagle. So you know, expecting American Eagle to do something like this on the day 2 side, or sorry, on day 1 side, and then Macy's for day 2. We'll see if it actually is able to pull back and stay above the $15.80, $16 area. If it stays above 16, I will not be surprised if we have a monster day 2 to the north side, getting above today's high. What is even today's high? Today's high is 1643. Yeah, so if we hold 16, a move back to today's high or even higher would be a monster trade to keep an eye out for on Macy's. CXM looks like it does want to break this range low. Ooh, that might be something to keep an eye on. Low price, not stock, but volume is not as high as I expected it to be for the price of the stock. Maybe not really too interesting. Zscaler, let's go see if Zscaler did what I wanted it to do today. It actually managed to break the lows and then pop right back up. Did I not say Zscaler would do exactly that? I'm pretty sure. I can't remember, to be honest. What did I say about Zscaler yesterday? I'm almost confident that I said watch for Zscaler to pop back up if it does push to the downside. Where is it? 280 is the key area. And what did the stock do? It went to 260. Okay, maybe I was wrong. I was wrong by $20. But hey, look at my markings. I have the markings fairly close to 260 there. Today's low 260.50. My marking 259.61. And then you have the move back through 265 and pushing back to the north side, which is exactly what I was expecting the stock to do. Push into these range lows and then bounce from it. So why did I say 280? Oh, that's right. I said 280 because of the pre-market level. I said if it holds 280, that could make the stock interesting to watch for. But if it doesn't hold 280 and flushes, the long off the flush is actually the trade to keep an eye out for. And that played out picture perfectly, and you guys are welcome for the free money. You owe me a subscription if you made money on this trade. So shout out to you first for taking the trade, but now you owe me a YouTube subscription or a Twitch subscription or whatever subscription platform you're watching me on for that free trade over there. That's actually a very, very good trade if you ask me, because you got to capture, what is it? Somewhere in this area, you're risking $5 and you get to capture and move all the way back into earnings VWAP. That's a pretty good trade right there, right? $10 move for risking $5. Mamma mia. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow, though, I don't really know what to do with this name. That was a one and done trade. It kind of loosens up this level, which shows you that there's still buyers over here even though we got below it. Shows you that buyers are still in this area. So it's not a short, but it's also not like a no-brainer long to 330, right? It's got a couple levels to fight through before it can be a no-brainer long to 330. So tomorrow, this could just be a nothing burger trade. Today, for anyone who did take that trade, great job, great job. Coming back to a couple other stocks on my watch list over here. STX, mamma mia, what is going on with Seagate Technologies? I should have seen the stock over here in this area. I didn't, I was a little MIA from the market. I was a little checked out because I was having to deal with some things. But now that, I'm watching it, I'm beating myself up for being checked out. But look at this, baby. Look at Seagate Technologies going from $63 in April to $176 now, breaking out, basically going into a new all-time high. This is a weekly chart on this stock, and look how far the stock is from the 200 weekly moving average, almost 100% away. So potentially a little overextended. The AI sector is benefiting from, or this stock is actually benefiting from the AI sector quite a bit. I think the other stock is Western Digital. WDC is also one to keep an eye out for. Western Digital actually breaking out also. I thought I put Western Digital the right name in my watch list. I put it as WD, but that's not Western Digital. So we're gonna go to WDC and then delete this. What the hell is WD? So look at that move on the data storage sector. 5% and Seagate going up 4%. So worth watching both of these stocks overall. Potentially the beginning of a new parabolic move on both of these names, at which point we can look for a nice short back to the downside. I mean, look at these names just grinding to the upside. These are actually the ANFs of the tech sector over here. You're watching these stocks go from 28 to, you know, $100 plus very soon, and that's exactly what ANF did. Go from 20 bucks to what is it, 150, 200 bucks, right? So this is pretty much reminiscent of ANF move over here for me on Western Digital, on Seagate Technologies, STX. So watching both of them. In terms of a trade setup, I mean, look, these are fresh breakouts, so looking for a short right now is kind of stupid. What you might want to look for is the long. There is no real relative volume on this name. Volume's very, very dead on Seagate. For a $200 name, you're only seeing 4 million shares. That's garbage volume. Liquidity is trash. Same with Western Digital. For an $80 name, you're only seeing like a little bit of a volume spike today on the breakout. So maybe Western Digital is better than Seagate to keep an eye on. But volume's still trash and liquidity is going to be trash. But both of these names are at all-time highs. Western Digital is actually pushing to all-time high. It's not at all-time high yet. Wow, that's awesome. It's you know, 66 cents away from all-time high over here on Western Digital, and I won't be surprised it breaks that tomorrow after a move like this today, and that might be the highest priority name out there tomorrow. Maybe not, but no, it's a pretty high priority name. With how CRDO moved, that being an AI name, I think Western Digital might just leech, and you might see other AI stocks also leeching off of that earnings report, and this stock going you know, through the all-time high. So watch this one. I think a dip buy into today's VWAP, and then a push above today's VWAP into today's high, and then a move above today's high into all-time high would be a picture perfect trade for a day 2 trade on Western Digital. You guys are more than welcome for that trade idea. A firm basically giving up all of the earnings move, not what you want to see if you are long a firm. Tempest AI looking weak again, kind of annoying me. IREN, this stock also pushing into all-time high and basically breaking above all-time high not too long ago, forming a little bit of a range over here into all-time high. On that big volume candle, it's holding the midpoint, so this stock is getting a little exciting. If it gets above 30 bucks, I think you might see some explosive moves over here on IREN, so that's a pretty high priority. Keep a watch for that stock. No clue what the stock is, no clue what the catalyst is, but at a quick glance, they reported earnings not too long ago. HIMS apparently bounced off a little bit of the 200-day moving average, and yeah, it did bounce off the 200-day moving average. This is giving you a pretty good low-risk, high-reward trade, given how volatile HIMS can get on any news catalyst. So if you are okay with risking under $40, and buying in this area on HIMS for a swing trade, this doesn't look too bad. Potentially a bounce back into somewhere into $70 on any sort of a positive news catalyst in the near future. Takes it right back up. 200-day moving average holding at the moment fairly well on this name, and look at that, it has been so for quite some time now. So I might actually keep an eye out for HIMS also. This is basically you're risking 40 and you're watching near $45. Okay, SOGP, no clue what the heck's going on with this one. I have no idea what the catalyst even is, but clearly overextended AF. So very, very extended. Average daily range 30%. Just because it's overextended doesn't mean you just blindly short tomorrow and you know, make money. No, that's not how the setup works. You wait for the first red day and then you short on the first red day. So this is giving you very volatile moves at the moment. Once it does give you the first red day setup, if you don't know what the first red day setup is, I urge you to go to my my Twitter profile and search through my Twitter profile for the first red day setups, or just go through any AI and ask any AI out there to explain what the first red day setup is. I think it'll do a pretty good job at doing that for you. So go read up on that, or even if you just Google first red day setup or YouTube first red day setup, you'll see a bunch of videos about it. You know, watching this one, high priority for that. So SLGP, very extended to the north side, watching for FRD. SMR, what are you? This should be the nuclear powered name. So nice bounce on SMR. I think I actually got this from the what'd you call it, the Center Point watch list. So shout out to Center Point. So holding above 40, that would be your key level. They did close around 40 today, so holding above 40 to $38 would be important for SMR to show up, because buyers showing up in that area means that stock could potentially propel back to the north side. NNE and OKLO are the other two names in the same sector that we usually watch for sympathy moves. ULTA is very interesting. Ulta Beauty had now multiple day resistance at the same price, which is around 539. So very interesting resistance around 539. And I think given how big of a move couple days ago to the downside was, and the complete reversal yesterday given today right after that, a very, you know, nothing burger move today compared to how volatile the last 2 days were. This is showing me that you know, seller tried to control, lost control, buyers gained back control, and seller now should be worried. And if you're a seller, your stops might be very close to this area above 539, maybe 540. So if we get above 539, above 540 on Ulta Beauty, relative volume coming through along with it, I think that is a daily chart breakout that you don't want to miss out on. So Ulta Beauty, sadly, it is a little expensive of a stock. I think what is it, there might be a leverage name for this, so you could potentially watch the leverage name for this also. NIO currently just cooling off. BABA, we like to see BABA doing exactly what you know, we talked about this yesterday. I want to see it hold around 132 to 135 area on pullback. So as long as it does that, that's good. Baidu breaking out today and pulling back and holding above the last 2 days high, picture perfect. Pinduoduo breaking out again over here. JD pushing back into the ranges. FUTU looking good. TIGR looking good. So there's a lot of these Chinese names out there. Pick your poison. That's all I can say. You know, maybe if you have a lower bank account buying power, you are potentially looking at TIGR. No matter which one you're watching, at the end of the day though, you for sure want to be watching FXI, which is which is not the leverage ETF, sorry, which is the large cap ETF for China. So watching FXI, if it gets above this $39-40 area on FXI, that potentially means that you're seeing a lot of other Chinese stocks, BABA, Pinduoduo, Baidu, JD, NIO, all the large cap Chinese stocks that are on the US market are potentially, you know, ascending and absolutely soaring to the north side. If that's the case, then TIGR is not a bad bet to put your money in. I actually wanted to go long around $11 on TIGR. I won't get to go long 11, but I will gladly go long 13, or even closer to, you know, all-time high. That's not all-time high, but even closer to this area if I only have to risk $2, and the potential could be much bigger based on how China sector is actually heating up at the moment. So very much important sector. That's your Chinese sector overall. I'm not gonna highlight every single one of them because I already know how important the sector is for me. SEDG, this is your solar sector, also another sector that's important. FSLR is potentially the one that big money investors care about more. Maybe not, who knows, I don't care. I don't care which one they're more interested more. For now, the setup that's more juicy is on SEDG, right? SEDG is the one with the better setup, and if it does give me that breakout, I'll be watching for it patiently. So 3460, you're watching it for that move to the north side. Above that, set your alerts, set your watch list to keep an eye out for that. 3450, 34, I'm just gonna say 3460. MongoDB looked like they were gonna break out today, but didn't really end up doing that, so we're still watching MongoDB for that move. Coinbase, we're talking about Coinbase for a downside. I'm basically watching Coinbase for a repetition move of MSTR. Look at MSTR on this day here where it broke down. So this day here where it broke down, that is the move I'm expecting on Coinbase once Bitcoin looks weak. However, Bitcoin actually did not look weak today. They were going up higher, if I remember correctly. So Coinbase, the fact that Coinbase went down even though Bitcoin went up, is actually a good thing for my trade idea, because when Bitcoin goes down, that means Coinbase is going to go down harder. MSTR, same idea, also weak at the moment. Even though Bitcoin went up, MSTR is looking weak and just constantly staying below the 9-day moving average. This is a bear flag. You are now flagging to the downside and potentially opening up the bands to the lower end. And if we do break down below 325.50, that's gonna open up some fun trading action on MSTR. So keep an eye out for this bad boy, 325 to 325.50. What the? What happened here? What the? How do I access this? What? What happened to my page? Oh, thank God. That absolutely scared the shit out of me. No, I don't think if I refreshed it would do anything. I think I clicked a shortcut button that added a side panel to my page. That scared the crap out of me. But now we're all good. Coinbase, I think was 290. Watching 290 area on Coinbase again. What is going on, mate? Please don't do that again. What is going on? Is someone hacking my computer? This is starting to get annoying. Oh, I think I know what happened. It might be because I had numlock turned off, and every time I pressed the number 3, it was pushing me over for some reason. Okay, anyways, 290 over here for Coinbase. I think I figured out what happened. Palantir, 150 on Palantir is something to keep an eye on. So because if we break 150, I think that opens up room to 140 and even lower, given how market could you know, poop itself at any moment. Today there was a good news in earnings for AI basket, so Palantir could use that as a catalyst, but I don't think overall you know, eventually it does break 150, and when it does break 150, you want to be ready for that trade. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is basically the watch list for tomorrow, and right on time, only with 2 minutes left to spare. I think that's a pretty good watch list for the day trade side, for the swing side also. And you know, shout out to American Eagle. Hopefully we keep getting richer and richer. Ask your AI butler. Sounds like you're jealous, TH, because you don't have an AI butler. You jealous. Prad is the GOAT. Thank you for your advice, guy. How you been, my guy? Hopefully you've been great. Let's see who all is in the chat over here. TH has been in the chat since 6:15. Dieter, Barky, Now that CRM earnings are out, could you take a look at it and see if there is a dip buy for the day and swing trade tomorrow? Thanks a lot. I'm pretty sure we talked about CRM already, and I'll be honest, I forgot about what I said about CRM. I think I did say 230. This is why I have the notes section where I don't use the notes at all. I shouldn't use the notes. I don't use the notes at all. The dip buy would be at 230. If we do get below 230, I think the 212 area does come into play. The report's not that bad. It's a very nothing burger report, very inline report. Kind of reminds me of Zscaler, honestly, right? So if we drop to 230, I think looking long around 230 might be your trigger. But if 230 done, we lose 230, you want to be careful about staying long. You might want to close your position and wait for another low. You do have a low right here at what, 226, 225. After 225, there's really nothing for me to keep an eye out for other than 212. So if 225 to 230, if there is no buying in that area, goodbye stock. You're going back to 212, right? So be very careful on that side. Your loyal audience, I read that one already, followed your game plan on Zscaler. Hey, let's go. You had perfectly planned out. If 280 does not hold in pre, then it's no longer a long, and that's how it played out. Zscaler opened at 278, 279 in pre, and then sold off. Bottomed at 260. I went long at 260 and closed it at 270. Barky, let's go, buddy. That's what I like to hear. We're gonna have to screenshot this over here because you know, no one's gonna believe me that stock played out exactly as planned. Okay, let me just send it to my friends over here. Played out exactly as I told you. So if it did not hold 280 yesterday, no long. It flushed into 260 where you actually got long. My lines helped you. I'm so happy, Barky. Let's go. And if you were watching my stream earlier, I said if you made money on my call out, you owe me a YouTube subscription. So I'll take a YouTube subscription from you before the end of the year. Whenever you get time before 2025, you owe me one YouTube subscription, okay? Hey Prad, stop by to see how you're doing and looking for some help on the watch list. Well, my friend, if you're watching, we had a banger watch list ready. Macy's beat today. Macy's did beat, went up pretty well. By the way, Halloween and Christmas coming soon, so Wall Street going to trade retail store stocks. That's a pretty good way to think about it, look at it. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea a lot. Prad, do you ever get nervous holding a large position on a short stock overnight? I actually don't hold shorts overnight at all because the only account I can short through is my day trade account. So I can't short overnight, but if and when I do have a margin swing account, then I would be potentially hoping a short overnight, but only if I'm actually in the money and I'm not too worried about it, right? So a lot of things depend. For example, if I'm holding NEGG short, if I was short NEGG $100, let's say, or even over here, if I'm short NEGG 114, I have no reason to be worried about the short because it never got above previous day high ever, right? It never got above previous day high and threatened previous day high. So I still don't have to worry about this position until it does that. But if it does get above previous day high and starts to consolidate, then yeah, I might be a little worried to hold my position overnight. I might take more profits, cover some shares, trail to the moving averages, and so on. Depends, you know, where your price is, depends on the stock, depends on the move. There's a lot of things over there that it really comes down to. So you want to think about those things. At the end of the day, if you're nervous about holding any position, if it's large, you can always trim. If you know, let it be long or short, you can always trim your position and get down to a risk appetite level where you're not that worried. So something to keep an eye out. But listen, in my experience, I never made money when I was not nervous. You know, when I was making real money, I was always nervous. Now that I'm not nervous, I'm not making any money anymore. So maybe that's what it takes. I gotta start getting nervous a little bit. I gotta start exploring outside of my comfort zone and really push some size on the market, right? All talk of markets dropping ended today. The bulls are back in charge. TH. Flip-flop, 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 flip-flop. I like it, TH. I love it. You know, it's not flip-flop. You're nimble. You are actually going with the flow of the wind, which is good to see. Good to see there. Michael Anthony talking about Western Digital. Also, I'm guessing that's when I was talking about Seagate Technologies. Kraft Heinz split into 2 companies today thanks to Warren Buffett. Yeah, they got destroyed. Largest candy bar company in Canada is Mars Wrigley. I didn't know Mars was Canadian. The largest company in USA is Mars Wrigley. What? Oh, the candy bar company. Oh wait, how's that a Canadian and American? What? TH, are you high? Ask your AI butler. Yeah, look, TH is just a hate watcher. I haven't called you a hate watcher in a long time, TH. You hate watcher. But no, we love you, TH. We love you. Let's go take a look at the IPO calendar, and there it is. That's the name I was looking for, and that's the name I was looking for too. So that's on the 12th of September, and that's on the 10th of September. There is one tomorrow, but that is an acquisition corp, so that doesn't matter at all. There's actually a lot of names IPOing this month. Wow. A lot of big names IPOing this month. This is insane. Copy this picture. We'll actually filter it by that. Let me do this IPO calendar. Let me share it in my groups. That is actually insane. So you have, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decent companies to keep an eye out for, and they're all next week. So ladies and gentlemen, you might want to tune into the streams next week and all of next week. Potentially the streams are starting at 4:30 p.m. so make sure that you set your calendars and some alerts. Even if you don't tune into the streams, you might want to watch the after hours, the stream after when you get a time, because these are big names to keep an eye out for the day trade side. Okay, IPO calendar is busy. We talked about the economic calendar yesterday for the whole week already, and we know that that's very packed. Tomorrow you have the jobless claims, import exports, services PMI, S&P services PMI, ISM non-manufacturing numbers. So you know, very busy economic calendar. So make sure that you are setting alerts. You know what times these comes out at: 8:30, 9:45, 10 o'clock, and then you also have Fed members talking at 12 o'clock. So if Atlanta GDP number at 1 o'clock. So very busy economic calendar, and these can easily move the market, especially because we are so close to the Fed rate date. That's on the 17th of September. Currently predicting about a 90% probability that we are going to get a 25 beeps rate cut. But these numbers could move that probability, and if they do, ooh, that number went up to 96. We were at 91 yesterday. That number is going up to 96.6% now. So look, markets are going to be pricing this in, and the higher this goes and the better the economic data comes out, the better all things go for the future of the market in general and your portfolios and for day trading. So let's see how everything sets up. The great bull market back again after a very short bear market out there. That's basically all she wrote. Hopefully you guys found some trade ideas out there to capitalize on. It's time to roll in the outro. Shout out to Dieter. Again, Dieter, thank you for all the amazing music, but I'm just experimenting a little bit with Perplexity Radio. They have a pretty cool radio channel that I listen to throughout the day when I'm trading, when I'm coding, when I'm creating thumbnails and so on. So pretty cool radio channel. I like their music, so I thought I would introduce you guys to their music too. So I've been listening to this recently. All right, time to roll in the outro. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the final stream of the week. Have a blast. Go make some money, and if you made money on my trade ideas, you owe me a subscription. Hit the like, hit the sub, and go check out my affiliate sponsors and all that other links in the description below. TraderPrad out. Peace. Get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the Hour.
after hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.